This is the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE 5G. Man, that's a stupidly long name, but this is basically like an S20 Lite. Like, they've done it, a light version of their phones in the last couple of years, but I think they dissed the Lite name because it makes the phone feel cheap. But here we have a cheaper version of the S20. This costs $700 instead of the $1,000 that the S20 starts at, and it gives you a lot of the same stuff that the S20 has. So right off the bat, a really nice touch on this box is, let me go ahead and give you a little bit more of a better look, is look, if you can see very clearly, there's like these indents. So there's, there's a wheel, there's the moon, there's a flower, camera, cloud. There's just a lot of like, I don't want to, like, there's not a theme to it. It's just like a bunch of weird markings on the box all throughout. They kind of, I would say a lot of them relate to the camera, but honestly, it's just like, I have no idea. I'm so sorry I can't give you a better look. It's a white box, and it's just not doing a good job of showing up on camera, but that is what it is. It's a nice little touch, nonetheless. So let me start opening up the box. So I did get the navy blue, so I'm guessing that's why this is finished in blue. I will have to watch a couple more unboxings to see if the color matches that, but I think that's why that's the blue one. So it is the navy blue. So this is the 128 gig model. That's the only one available in the US. It does have 5G, as stated in the name. It's got a Snapdragon 865, just like the S20. So a lot of the same stuff. It doesn't come with a 1440p display like the more expensive phone does, but this does give you 120 hertz at 1080p, which is exactly what that one gives you as well. So I mean, it's not really that big of a loss. So right at the top of the box, on this side, I pulled it out of there, you have your SIM card eject tool, and I'm gonna guess some paperwork. Right, some paperwork, FE unlocked, the newest FE. All right, nothing that interesting. Let's put this off to the side. And let's look at the phone itself for a second. All right. Feels really good in the hand. I love the flat display, right? The flat display is something that I really wish more companies would just embrace now. The curved displays are boring, and I don't want them. On the back, you've got this blue finish. Really cool looking. So I'm going to put this aside for a second and give you guys a closer look at what's inside the box. Let's see what we get. Samsung, that seems a little bit unnecessary. You got the charger. This is a 15-watt power adapter. You got nothing, that's just empty space. And then you've got your power cable. Is that it? That's it. That's pretty much the entire box. Really not a lot to speak about in the box itself. So the main attraction is the phone. So hang on, let me pull out there and give you guys a little bit of a better look. There we go. So this, the blue just looks fantastic. It is a plastic back. So let me pull this off. And as you guys can see, this is actually a matte finish instead of a gloss. I mean, the screen protector made it look gloss, but this is fantastic, man. I think 2020 is the year of the blue. You've got the blue Apple Watches, the rumored blue iPhones, and then this, which is an amazingly deep blue. It matches with my Apple Watch particularly well. Like, I'm impressed at how well it matches. I love this finish. And the second I saw it, I was sold on it. Like, I know that, these things shouldn't really matter, but the blue finish was just fantastic. Very similar camera bump to the S20, and I believe barring the telephoto camera, everything else is the same with the camera setup. The telephoto camera on the S20 is a little bit of a higher megapixel count. So you do have plastic protectors at the bottom here, which Samsung does seem to do. I don't understand why. I don't think it's necessary, but okay, I'm just gonna have to sit here and peel it all off instead of having to hold it. So this phone, of course, it is meant to be a little bit cheaper, but from where I'm sitting, I find it hard to exactly tell why it's a lot cheaper. It doesn't feel cheap in any way. It definitely does, miss out on that 1440p display, but the reality is that when you think about it, this phone actually, like, it does 1080p at 120 hertz, which not even the, which is exactly what the S20 does. So if you want to use the 1440p display, the resolution, you don't get 1080p. So 120 hertz. So at that point, you basically don't have that feature. It's like, because if you want to use the 120 hertz, you're going to use that. And more people are going to want to use the 120 hertz than the higher resolution, because it's easier to tell the smoother refresh rate, I guess, for most people than it is to tell the resolution. I personally prefer the higher resolution, but you know, to each their own. God, there's so much plastic on this frame. Man, it's taken me way too much time to get it all off. All right, let's go. Come on. I feel like I might just end up scratching this phone by trying to peel that plastic off. All right, and then the last one, the horrible plastic screen protector. Like, why bother? Like, there's a hole in it right there, which I guess is for the fingerprint scanner. All right, there you go. You guys can see, like, this is at this point, why even bother putting one on is kind of my thing. Okay, let's pull it off. And let's power this bad boy on and see what it's like. And while it's powering on, let me just give you guys a better look at what it looks like on the back. Like, that color is pretty good. It is definitely smudging up. No lies there. No hiding that. It's gonna smudge up and look a little bit bad. The sides look good. They're deep dark blue. It actually suits this phone well. I'm not gonna lie. It does look good on the phone. I think that it matches and complements the design really well. And overall, a very simple design, right? There's not a lot of complications here. It's a simple and very Samsung-esque design. Flat display. It's got this hole punch in the center. And what I'm going to do now is give it a couple of minutes, set this up, try it out, and then give you guys my initial impressions on this phone. All right, guys, so I just spent a couple minutes setting the phone up, trying it out, messing around with it, and here's my initial impression. So right off the bat, the phone actually kind of feels weird to me, right? After years of using curved displays on Samsung phones, this is the first time I'm using a flat display, and it just feels weird. Like, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to. And talking about that display, there's one really frustrating thing I noticed on it. So there's hole punch cameras have been around for a little bit, right? But this is the first time I've seen a hole punch with a silver ring around it. That's frustrating. Like, it makes things look so much worse. Okay, let me turn off the screen. And you guys, hopefully the camera will be able to pick it up. Of course it's not, but there's a silver ring around the hole punch, which makes it so much more obvious that that's a hole punch camera. Okay, this is a decent angle. You guys can see. Like, you can very clearly tell that there's an intrusion there, but whereas when you compare it to other displays that have a hole punch, they do everything they can to make sure it doesn't show up, but this one is not really the case. So it's stupid. I don't know why they did that. The only thing that comes to my mind is to make it look worse on purpose, so that there's something that the S20 gang can say is better about it. Okay, so another thing that is changed on this phone is it no longer has the I believe it's the so I'm not sure. I completely forgot what Samsung calls it, but this one does not have an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. It has an optical one that's found on most phones nowadays. So you've got the same thing. Like, you guys can see, like, it lights up right there. So that's a little bit different here compared to the S20. So that it is actually, I think, a little bit faster, to be honest. It feels so much more comfy. Like, that's way better. Maybe you're actually getting a better thing out of that. Another thing I noticed is that the buttons, they feel a little bit, the tactility is just not the same as some of the other Samsung phones I've used. Just could be because it's brand new, but I think that, you know, it just doesn't have that much of a travel, and I really wish that was a little bit better. Moving on, let's talk about the camera. So I did mess around with them a little bit, and this does have a normal wide angle, an ultra wide, and a telephoto that's actually 3x. So, you know, I think this is a really good camera setup. Tested them out, and I tested the front camera as well. Really good quality. Overall, I'm actually very impressed with the camera setup we've got going here. I think at this price point, this is a very, very impressive camera setup. Speakers are pretty good. They sound really good too. I felt maybe they don't get as loud as some of the competition, but the quality is definitely there, so that's a good thing. And overall, that's kind of it. You know, there's a lot of bloatware on Samsung phones, obviously. So you've literally got an entire page of Google stuff. You've got an entire, like, this came with the phone. Like, this is how it comes out of the box. So it literally has folders of junk right out of the box. So it has the Samsung junk, the Microsoft junk. You've got Netflix pre-installed. You've got a bunch of Samsung weird apps. You've got Facebook right there. You've got Spotify. It's just like a bunch of stuff is pre-installed. You can't do anything about that. It's just the way these Samsung phones are. So overall, it feels very familiar, right? Like, this is a Samsung phone. There's nothing that tells me it's not, except for maybe that loss of a curved display, but otherwise feels very familiar. I'm looking forward to getting to set this up and try it out and give you guys a better impression of exactly what's going on with it. And before I do let you go, let me just show you guys everything around it. So of course the SIM card slot is up top over here. The sides, you've got the power button right here, volume on the same side. Bottom has a single firing speaker here, and then there's another one up here. So it is a stereo. So it has a bottom firing and a top one. So I don't know why I said single, but USB-C right here, and that's basically it. Nothing much more going on with this phone. No headphone jack. That's kind of dead, so no point in even bringing it up. But yeah, that's it for the S20 FE. I am not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed with that silver camera ring. I just really don't know why it had to be done. But, you know, Samsung doing Samsung things, that's not something I'm surprised by. But loving this color so far, so I'm very excited to try it out, spend a few weeks with it, and tell you guys exactly how I feel about it. So that's going to be it for this one. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions about the S20 FE, be sure to ask me down in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer down there. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen for more updates on this phone and just give you guys a better look at what the testing of this will look like. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.